Exposed. The $28 million slave-like contract that destroyed Yu Menglong. Today's top story. Commentator Li Muyang's revelation is once again fueling public outrage over the case of actor Yu Menglong. For months, reports have revealed how Tianyu Media, Yu's management company, subjected him to shocking torture, allegedly hiring Du Qiang, a supposed manager who was in reality a hitman assigned to keep him under surveillance. During filming, Yu was reportedly dragged out for beatings, and a series of staged onset accidents left him injured time and time again. Many believe what the public saw was only the surface of something far darker. So why such cruelty? Because Yu Menglong had signed what insiders call a slave-like contract. In previous episodes, we reported on a female executive named Qi Lili, who was later hunted down by Tianyu Media for defending Yu Menglong. She courageously went on to leak the company's actual contract. It claimed to be based on fairness, equality, voluntariness, honesty, and credibility, but in truth, once signed, it stripped artists of every ounce of freedom, giving Tianyu total control. According to Qi Lili's notes, Party A was Tianyu Media, represented by General Manager Shen Yadong, who also served as Deputy General Manager of Mango Super Media before August 13. Party B referred to the artist, in this case Yu Menglong. The clauses are staggering. In Article 3, Section 1, Item 3, even after the contract ends, Tianyu still has the right to use the artist's name, image, voice, and biography for promotion. In Article 3, Section 1, Item 10, every creative work and every right, worldwide and forever, belongs completely to Tianyu, or to any third party it decides to give it to. In Article 3, Section 1, Item 20, Tianyu can manage all of the artist's social media accounts, and all rights and profits from them will permanently belong to the company. In Article 3, Section 1, Item 21, Tianyu can monitor every single one of the artist's activities. If the artist hides or misreports any income, they must pay 3 times the amount they earned, or, if the amount isn't clear, 3 times their highest monthly income as compensation. Tianyu also has the right to terminate the contract at any time, on its own. In Article 3, Section 2, Item 11, the artist must follow every work arrangement set by the company, whether it's paid or unpaid, without objection. In Article 4, Section 2, Items 1 and 2, revenue is split 70% to Tianyu and only 30% to the artist. And the penalty clause is devastating. If the artist terminates the deal, or Tianyu does so claiming artist fault, the payment is calculated as: take the artist's highest monthly income in the past 12 months, multiply it by 12, then multiply that by the number of years left in the contract, and finally multiply it again by the project compensation amount. The result must be paid in full at once. Additional damages? The artist still owes more. No restriction binds Tianyu itself, only the artist. It is, in every sense, a slave contract. Once signed, you cease to be an independent performer, you become Tianyu's property. How severe can the penalty get? Let's break it down. If an artist's top monthly income were just 20,000 RMB, about 240,000 RMB a year, with 2 years left on the contract and a base project claim of 200,000 RMB, the payout would reach a staggering 144 million RMB. And that's a conservative estimate. In reality, most settlements exceed 200,000 RMB. An overseas acquaintance, who once affectionately called Yu little brother, told one of commentator Li's friends that Yu Menglong never left Tianyu Media simply because he couldn't afford the penalty. That fee? An unthinkable 200 million RMB, about 28 million US dollars. Given the company's own formula, such an astronomical number is not only possible, it's entirely believable. But as shocking as the contract itself was, what came next would take the story to an entirely different level. Before we move on, I just want to share something real quick. YouTube hasn't been recommending our channel much lately, so if you've made it this far, drop this icon in the comments. It really helps us beat the algorithm. You can also find it in the description below if you want to copy it easily. Together, we can get past the censorship and let more people see the truth. Shocking revelation. Yu Menglong's organs taken for Xi Jinping's mother. Exactly 2 months have passed since the death of Chinese actor Yu Menglong, yet the case continues to escalate, capturing intense global attention. Beyond the public outrage, one question remains: could there be deeper forces at play? On November 5th, commentator Su Xiaohe released a video revealing that, according to insider information, the reason Yu Menglong's case remains trending is that someone high within the Chinese Communist Party is deliberately keeping it alive, ensuring the spotlight never fades. Earlier reports indicated that Yu Menglong had been identified as a sacrificial victim in a dark ritual said to prolong Xi Jinping's life, since their birth charts, were believed to be perfectly compatible. But now, an even more shocking revelation has surfaced. Yu Menglong's organs were allegedly taken for Xi Jinping's mother, Qi Xin, who is now 99 years old. In other words, the internal organs of a healthy man in his 30s were transplanted into a 99-year-old woman. According to Su Xiaohe, the information has sparked a massive wave of shock. Some even claim that the tall, heavy-set man with a large belly wearing a white shirt seen at the scene was Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping's younger brother. However, I personally don't think the resemblance is that strong. Viewers, take a closer look and share your thoughts in the comments below. But the shock doesn't end there. Su went on to reveal that 10 people were reportedly present during the operation, including doctors and others directly involved in the live organ extraction of Yu Menglong. Of them, 6 managed to flee China, while 4 were killed. Because this was no ordinary affair, if the truth ever leaked, it would be catastrophic. That's why, Su says, they had to kill them to silence the truth. This aligns with our earlier report that several individuals connected to the killing had been issued passports in advance, ready to escape from China. The next question naturally arises. If that man truly was Xi Jinping, why was he there at all? Some early commentators suggested that if this was indeed a ritual sacrifice, his role might have been to observe. But Su Xiaohe now argues that the real reason was far more practical. Once an organ is removed, it has only about 30 minutes. Within that window, it must be transplanted. That's why, across China, every major airport has what authorities call a special organ transport lane. Within the same city, military helicopters are even used to deliver freshly harvested organs. To quote Su Xiaohe directly, "The organ transplantation operations in mainland China represent the darkest event in human history. There is nothing else like it." When I asked AI about this so-called special organ transport lane, the answer was clear. This system exists only in China, and only China would publicly promote such a thing. Nowhere else in the world has anything like it. Because in truth, no other country on earth conducts state-backed crimes so industrialized. Crimes of live organ harvesting. Jet Li, accused of heart transplant from the most handsome monk. The audience must still remember Qiu Feng, once celebrated as the most handsome monk of the Shaolin temple. Official records state that he died in September 2024 in a car accident at just 21 years old. Yet online, a very different story began to circulate. That Qiu Feng didn't die in a traffic crash at all, but was killed for live organ harvesting. Now, a shocking new twist has taken social media by storm. Renowned martial arts star Jet Li, long known to have battled serious illness, allegedly received a heart transplant from Qiu Feng. As public pressure mounted, Jet Li attempted to shut down the rumors. He filmed a video in his garden, removes his shirt, stretches on the grass, warms up beside the pool, and then dives in for a swim. He turns again and again, showing his body from every angle, apparently to demonstrate that there are no surgical scars. Proof, he seemed to imply, that he never received Qiu Feng's heart. But instead of ending the speculation, the video only deepened it. Sharp-eyed netizens immediately pointed out a series of odd details. His upper body skin looked unusually smooth, without a single wrinkle. Hardly believable for a kung fu actor who has spent decades filming intense fight scenes. When he raised his arms, viewers noticed no armpit hair, something nearly impossible for an adult man. And on his right wrist, some spotted what appeared to be a faint seam of artificial skin, leading to speculation that Jet Li might have been wearing synthetic skin before stepping in front of the camera. Comments poured in by the thousands. When he pets the dog, you can clearly see he's wearing fake skin. Why hide the transplant scars? The more he tries to prove it, the more it looks like he really did get someone else's heart. This is a textbook case of trying too hard to cover up the truth. What was meant to silence the rumors obviously had the opposite effect. Jet Li's health history is well known. Diagnosed with hyperthyroidism in 2013, his condition eventually led to severe heart complications, forcing him at one point to rely on a wheelchair. His pale complexion, sagging skin, and bulging eyes made him appear frail and aged, so much so that fans called him a man on the verge of death. Then everything changed. In August this year, Jet Li announced he had undergone surgery to remove 2 small tumors. After a short recovery, he reappeared, radiant, strong, and full of life, even performing a kung fu dance in public. But online, a darker theory took hold, that his miraculous transformation was not due to surgery at all, but to a heart transplant. It wasn't an idea born from nowhere. Over 300 hospitals in China perform organ transplants, and reports of young patients mysteriously losing their organs after routine treatments have surfaced again and again. Since July 1999, when the Chinese Communist Party began persecuting Falun Gong practitioners, countless people have reportedly been tortured and subjected to live organ harvesting, a practice that later extended to ordinary citizens. Against this background, Jet Li's scar-free video looked less like reassurance and more like damage control. Even his words carried an uneasy tone, as if hinting at something unsaid. Jet Li stated, "In this era, we must think independently. Following public opinion blindly can be dangerous. Although I don't know that person, I hope no one exploits another's misfortune for attention. I wish everyone good health. Independent thinking is what matters most." To many, this didn't sound like a denial. It sounded like a warning, a subtle plea for people to stop digging deeper. Yet it raised one haunting question. What truth is he afraid of revealing? And who would fear that truth the most, other than the Chinese Communist authorities, the same regime behind the persecution of Yu Menglong, Qiu Feng, and others? Now that Jet Li himself has stepped forward to clarify the matter, the public is left wondering, is he defending his reputation or helping to whitewash the CCP? Coincidentally, Jet Li isn't the only star to make a mysterious recovery. Hong Kong's kung fu legend Sammo Hung, now 73, had long been plagued by chronic injuries that left him confined to a wheelchair. Yet recently he was seen in Xi'an, walking unaided and performing Tai Chi, astonishing everyone. Meanwhile, veteran actress Ni Ping, 66, who had also struggled with poor health in recent years, was suddenly spotted climbing Mount Lushan, looking youthful, glowing, and proudly declaring that she reached the summit entirely on her own. How did all three regain their youth almost simultaneously? How did they seemingly turn back the clock together? This has become one of the strangest mysteries in China's entertainment industry this year, capturing even the attention of international media. Many suspect that these celebrities may have received organ transplants from young people, or even from children, explaining their sudden vitality. Others wonder if they've been involved in a CCP-sponsored longevity project involving blood transfusions from the young, bone marrow stem cell transplants, and other secretive procedures. These projects can't be verified, yet if such anti-aging programs truly depend on using living humans as donors, extracting materials or organs to sustain others' lives, then isn't that killing one life to extend another? And if that's true, doesn't it confirm that the Chinese Communist Party controls a vast living human donor bank, ready to supply fresh organs, blood, and body parts at any time? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. And don't forget to drop this icon in the comments to help us beat the YouTube algorithm. If you found this analysis valuable, please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for watching. See you next time.